So yeah, squats are back. It's taken a bit to sink in, but it's sinking in now. Anyway, says I think the squats are going to be a bit different from what they used to be because they've got all got eaten by the Tyrannids. So I think these squats probably survived by being in a ship somewhere and settling a new planet or something along them lines, and just hiding away in some backwater whilst they recovered. The technology would probably change to fight Tyrannids as well, since that'll be a vengeance thing from now, I'd imagine. But they've always been slow moving, fairly tough, maybe not the best shots in the universe, but really heavy weapons. And they usually have, I think it was Ancestors they called it, or something like that, basically close combat squads. So they were a little bit of a mix, right? So if you can imagine this, right, you've got the crazy designs of the orcs, you've got the mechanical surety of Admech, and then you've got a bit of Space Wolf thrown in for good measure. So we're talking like quite an odd mix. But with the ground infantry, they wouldn't be that brilliant shots. The tanks themselves would be probably their mainstay. You'd be talking things like Lem Russes and things like that probably at first. Bane Blades and stuff like that, because they were a bit imperially in that area, Imperial Guard. They usually complement the Imperial Guard. But I think GW want to move away from that, I'd imagine, make them a unique side in their own right. So that'd be one of the changes, because they were a bit ordinary. They were a bit like very short Imperial Guard back in the day, with the exception you had trikes, and the trikes did skid attacks where they charged forward at full pelt, skidded, fired, and drove off. So they could fire on the move. That was one of their tricks. They could move, shoot, and move out of the way. I think they get more of those strategies as well. But I'm expecting the core of their gameplay would be hit and run and combat, because they have these ancestor units, which I think it's ancestor units, something like that, that were basically, fighting for the last time. And I think we'll see a lot of that. A lot of orcs with hammers and stuff like that, ready to smash things. But I do think they'll be influenced by the Tyrannids and stuff. What happened with the Tyrannids would definitely affect them, because they did need to avenge their fallen, wouldn't they? So, but the tanks are, so I'm looking forward to. I'm kind of hoping they don't go down the years of Lemrus and Baneblade use them route. Kind of hoping they make their own, because they have disappeared for thousands of years, so they should bounce back. Maybe with a standard construct template of their own from way back in the day, which allows them to produce new stuff. That'd be good. That'd be good. But there'll probably be a bit animosity towards the Admech, who turned it all into a religion, because the dwarfs, they're not religious about their technology. They just make it and get on with it. So you're very functional, very sure. You know, the fantasy dwarfs are a bit grand, but I think the 40k ones will probably be very sure of themselves. The armor would be thicker, the guns would be bigger. That kind of thing. We want to shoot a Titan in a night. What's the gun we need? Well, we need a 20-inch gun. Well, let's make it 40 inches then, just to be safe. That kind of thing. I think that's the direction the dwarfs would go. So you probably see lots of mortars, I'd imagine. Lots of mortars. They won't move fast. I don't think they'd move very fast at all. They're probably one of the slower units. A bit like some of the Terminators, some set types of Terminators. So you wouldn't see them very, very quick or anything like that. I also think bikes, you'll probably get biker squads, although whilst that was a thing back in the day, I don't think it'd be so popular now. It'll probably just be a separate unit. Aircraft wise, if they have jets and planes, I'd be surprised. I would expect them to have more like floating fortresses, you know, like the Tau, except for these float above the ground with lots of guns bristling out. The sort of thing you see, with the dwarfs on fantasy, because they have like these boats with guns over, that kind of thing. Um, so yeah, I mean you can predict where it'd go. As for the sides, how they'd fare, they'd probably be designed to take on the Tau. I think their main push would be to take on the Tau after being defeated, and after that, it'll probably be chaos. You might even see some chaos dwarfs actually, because you do get a few chaos dwarfs. But I think you probably see the main force to be the tower. So they'll be talking like lots of shots to take out, lots of little um, tyrannids, and some really big weapons to take out things like hive tyrants and things like that. They did carry laser cannons and stuff, but I would expect them to be more shell based. Um, you know, battle cannons and stuff. But you never know, they might go into the laser technology quite early, but that would be more eldery, wouldn't it, if you think about it? I think after a couple of codexes, they should be fit to use. In the meantime, it'd probably be an addition to other forces because I don't think they'd be very balanced at first. It'd be a bit ad hoc, so it'll be quite a few years before we see them fully develop. I'll probably be in my 60s before they start actually becoming an army of their own right. But that said, though, there's a lot of charm to go with the orcs and not orcs, the squats. They're very charming kind of sad to field. Plus, them being so small, you could put more on the battlefield. Squeeze them into tighter places. Yeah, but yeah, it's going to be good. It's going to be really, really good. I think it's one of those sides which needed to come back a long time ago. But they were in the past, and this was the original problem. They were too much like the Imperial Guard and AdMech. And we already had AdMech, right? And we already had Imperial Guard. But we didn't have AdMech as a playable race. We had AdMech as an idea, right? Whereas the Imperial Guard, they pretty much, them and AdMech were pretty much the old squat race. But the squats were always more orky in their creation, AdMech in their reliability, and the Space Wolfie in their lore. So that's what I'm expecting this time round, that kind of thing. See you in the next one.